Yes, Biashara Tuesday is live on air. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us from 7 a.m. to right about now. It's 9 o'clock, and I have very special guests for you here. Very special thing that I'm holding on the set as well. This is Tyler's coffee, but it's going to be mine in a few. And also Tyler's Coffee's book, From Door to Door to Every Store. He has a very interesting story on how he started doing this, and we'll be very happy to listen to it. Recommended by the doctor. Doctor recommended. That's what is written here on the organic coffee package from Tyler himself. So Tyler is on set with us. We talk about the product with the person who made it here on the show. It's an exclusive for you, so be excited. Send in your questions. And the discussion we are having actually here is titled Dreaming is Good, Doing is Better. So I have Tyler with me, but also do have Nikki, Leigh, who is very big online. So make sure you check her social following. She's also a podcaster, also into mental health and physical fitness advocate. We'll be getting into that part of the conversation as well. But let them do their own justice to the introduction. I'll go with the lady first, Nikki. If you could introduce yourself to our audience, to the Kenyans who are watching you here this morning, where they can find you, how your journey has been so far coming to Kenya, and then we can discuss further.
Sure, that's a lot of information. You have a whole hour for me?
Just
kidding. Hi, I'm Nikki Leigh. I'm an actress, a model, a mental health advocate. I take health very seriously. I have a longevity and health podcast called Longevity Junkie, where it's myself and a doctor, because we really want to make sure that we bring you the up-to-date and true information that you need in order to be healthy. And there's so much misinformation out there, so we wanted to make sure that you guys got the right information. I'm from Los Angeles. I've been acting for about 12 years now. You can find me on socials. My Instagram is Miss Nikki Leigh. You could spell it out, MISSNIKKILEIGH. And this is my first time in Kenya. I've been all around the world. This is not my first time to Africa. I was in Egypt in May, and I've been to Cape Town, but this is like my first. I feel like every part of Africa is so different and unique. So definitely Kenya has, a very unique introduction to me.
Right.
And it's so exciting to be here. And you even saying, dreaming is good, but doing is better. And that's like, Tyler and I getting on an airplane and coming here. So I think that it's just really amazing. Thank you also for the warm welcome.
Okay.
And I'm excited for the questions.
Right. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tyler, very composed. Are you always this chill? You've been very chill since you came in.
I appreciate it. Sometimes I'm chill and sometimes I'm very energetic. It just depends. It's an honor to be here. First and foremost, thank you so much, Biashara. I can't tell you enough how excited I am to be here in Kenya, to understand the Kenyan culture, to understand the Kenyan people, to understand really what it's like to be a Kenyan.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really love is the hospitality that you have, the love that you have, the support that you have. And, it makes me feel very happy that you all are just wanting to strive and be better and grow. And that was something that I did when I was 13 years old. I actually went door to door on my bicycle, actually giving out my coffee samples and only asking for a name and number. And a lot of people will tell you that success comes with failure. And I failed so many times in my life, and I failed so hard. And the one thing I can tell you is that failure is not the problem, but repeating your failures is. And so we need to learn from our failures. And so anyone that's out there that wants to be an entrepreneur or create something for themselves, it's okay to fail. You just have to learn from your failures. And I want you guys to know that we, as entrepreneurs in this world, we're all here together for you. We're like a community. We're a tribe. We're an understanding of success and also failure. But I want you to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you so much for having me on the show. show. It's an absolute honor.
Right. Welcome. You're very welcome. I'm excited to have you here, and also for what you are actually specifically in Kenya to do. You're here with Top Talent Agency, the both of you, for a tour around the country. Maybe Nikki, you could start by letting us know what is expected out of this tour, and what kind of activities are you going to be up to throughout the week?
Let's see. We are going to different schools of different sizes all around, and I am not even quite sure what exactly we are doing, except for just taking each of our stories. There's about 10 or so of us, and we're just taking each of our stories and being able to connect with kids and inspire and really, giving the power back to the kids and allowing them to see that they have so much to offer this world, and allowing them to move forward with confidence and self-love, and inspiring them through our stories, because just as Tyler said, everyone has to fail to get anywhere, and failure can be so scary, and it can be seen by others as not don't fail, you'll get it's not the right thing to do, you're not going to be successful if you fail. But the only way to be successful from a failure is learning from that, making sure that you take the lessons that are given to you, because they're actually gifts. You wouldn't go through those things, and you wouldn't know how to troubleshoot later if it wasn't for going through things in real time.
Right. And I'm sure in an industry where the success rate and the failure rate is almost similar is acting, probably.
I honestly feel like the failure rate is way higher than the success rate in acting.
How's that journey been like for you, being especially from Los Angeles, where there's many actresses, many actors, there's a lot going on there, and you're trying to make a name for yourself, or trying to do this and that, acting, modeling, dealing with failure, as Tyler had mentioned as well. How's that journey been like for you?
It has been a very difficult journey, but at the same time a very beautiful one, because I wouldn't be the person I am today, a really strong, confident, self-assured person, if it wasn't for all the no's that I got. And I keep getting, because at first when you're starting out, you want to be perfect. You want to be perfect on camera. You want to do the right thing. And the right thing is so many different things, because it's such a creative place. And you go into these auditions, and you don't know what they want. You just have to be your best version of yourself, bring everything you can to the table, and be happy with it. You have to really develop a self-confidence and a self-love, because you are putting yourself out there all the time. And you showing up and doing your best is not necessarily what they might be looking for, but that doesn't mean that you're not doing it right. That just means you're getting more practice. You're learning from what you could see as a failure because you didn't get the role or something, but it's actually just practice and play, and make sure that you show up each day just ready to play and have fun. And so it has also allowed me to be more playful, and not saying that I didn't go through the tears and the why not me's and I thought I did so good, but that's the thing, you did great, and so this journey has really been about learning myself as well, which has been one of the most beautiful things, and just being grateful for it. And the more gratitude I have seen, or I have shown, is the more I get back, and the more right projects I get, which is really beautiful.
This is going to be a very good story for the kids once you hit the ground running across the institutions in Kenya. You said, you're going to take your story there. That story in itself is an inspiration to any university student who's trying to try out something, or any high school kid who's trying to start out on something. Starting is very important. I think that's, a lesson you can pick from you. The no's that you are saying you received is something I am also very aware of in my own life.
Sure.
I have tried a venture before. I keep saying it on this show. It was a medical related startup. And back then, as a young person, about 17, 18 years, you can imagine the amount of no's I will receive in doctors' offices. They're like, this kid, what does he know? He's been around for less than a quarter century. He doesn't know much. I've been practicing this for 30, 40 years. So I imagine the same thing for you, Tyler. How is it like this book from you? This is his book on this journey to Tyler's Coffee. It reads here, the 15-year-old boy who created a 7-figure coffee business from door to door to every store. How are the no's like? Knocking and trying to give someone coffee, and they're like,
so
get out of here, man.
The no's were interesting because when I was growing up, all my friends were playing video games. They were hanging out. I was literally out there pounding the streets. I was like walking and bicycling and building. And I had a dream. I wanted to have, I'm a car guy. I wanted to have a nice car. And my father, he pretty much told me, he said, whatever you want, you have to earn. You have to go out there and you have to get it. It doesn't get handed to you. Life doesn't get handed to you. You have to earn your life. And when I said, okay, I'm not going to be able to have it as something given to me. I have to earn it. I have to work for it. I have to go out there and do it. That was the driven passion that allowed me to go forward. And a lot of successful entrepreneurs and business owners, they don't really they don't really look at the no's. They look at how many no's do I get until a yes. How many no's will I get into a yes? Because at one point you're just playing a numbers game. There's too many no's by definition to not get a yes. And I'll never forget this very sweet lady. I was making phone call after school, and it was no. Who are you? I don't know you. Take me off your list. I'm calling the cops. No. So this very, very sweet lady goes, hey, that's some of the best coffee I ever had. I'd like to have some. I'd come by and sell me some coffee. And I said, okay, well, how much coffee do you want? She's like, well, bring me $20 worth. And that was that first yes, after all these no's, after all this rejection, after all of this, I'm never going to be something, to, oh my God, I have someone that actually believes in me. I have someone that's really willing to give up their hard-earned money for my product or service, and I can actually move forward in my mindset that this is actually viable. And that was something that just really got a fire inside me. It blew me up. I really was just like, and I just got addicted to it. I got addicted to the success. I got addicted to helping people. One of the things that I speak on is, if you're going to start a business, you have to have the key word, your cornerstone that holds up both pillars of your business, that holds up everything, is the word help. Are you helping people fix their problem? Are you helping people understand that there's a better solution out there than there already exists to? People are drinking coffee every day. Millions and billions of people drink coffee every single day. But what if we could provide a healthier solution to that coffee?
Right. That's the difference. The health that you're mentioning, right?
Yes.
So we'll get into what makes this coffee different in just a short bit, but that's some information for you. If you're an entrepreneur, of course, that's some lesson that you can write down for yourself. Go out there, make sure that health is also a part of it, because once you provide help, I'm sure that's a blueprint for success, because people are always going to need that sort of help.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in this tour with Top Talent Agency?
So so yesterday we went to a bunch of schools.
Oh, already?
We did.
Nice.
And these children looked at us like, oh my God, who are these people? They're
These
rock
guys.
stars. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm a humbled person. I don't really think of myself as a rock star. I don't really think of myself as, even though I speak across the world and I help small businesses out, and I try to give as much advice as possible. But what I realized in that moment was, yes, this is like me. I was always looking for a mentor. I was always looking for someone to look up to. I was always looking for someone that I could see myself being. And I hope to God that us being here and us talking to these schools and us telling our story and us saying, you know, we were not always just, you know, successful. We weren't born into success. We earned our success. I hope that that message hits true on someone out there that goes, I'm going to be inspired, I am going to dream, and I'm going to want what he has. And that's why I'm here. I hope that my message of me in the struggle, of me growing, of me failing, of me having so much against me, to allow me to be here speaking to you today has given me the ability so that, you know, other people can see my success and want that.
All right. Nikki, I have a very interesting question here for you.
Okay.
And it's about mindset, right?
Yes.
So the conversation we're having is on dreaming is good and doing is better. Sometimes as simple as getting out of bed to go pick a cup and fetch some water to drink takes a lot of mind work.
Oh, yeah.
You could lay there for an hour thirsty. Well, let me speak for myself. Sometimes,
Yes.
sometimes, you need some level of mental will to just get up, even just clean or just move or go out, meet people, get a cup of coffee, brew a cup of coffee. Sometimes it takes a lot of, mind power, right?
Yes.
So dreaming is also, I think, the same thing. You could dream up ideas all you want. You could think about so many things, brainstorm with people, but just starting to do it seems to be where the, most people fall off. Yeah. The challenge for most people. They say almost everyone has an idea, but how many people are doing it?
Right.
So how do we get to do it? Because I'm thinking even in modeling, in acting, this is a dream for a couple of people, for a lot of people, but just doing that first step is very hard. How do we get to start? What is it that, helps you to start as well?
Well, something to help me to start. There's kind of a few things. It's first, if you do anything towards a goal, celebrate that win. Give yourself little celebrations. Don't just expect it to be this huge success story all of a sudden, the first step you do. Start small. That's because when you're paving a road, you start with, one brick at a time. And so that's what I think people also need to give themselves credit when they do start something small. Even if it is just putting the first foot on the floor, not getting out of bed totally, but you at least
Put
did
the
a
foot
little,
down, say, yay.
I'm here. Yeah. And just like celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Also having a mindset of knowing that you can. You might not be at the finish line that you want to yet, but know that you can do it. You have to believe in yourself.
Okay.
I think also, I think dreaming is really fun and beautiful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take anything. It takes no money.
It's free.
It's free. And dreaming is where everything starts. And if you just allow yourself to start dreaming, then that is what really, it's like putting the gasoline in your car and allow it, like that's the fuel.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow you to keep going, is just to have that dream. Something though, to like a real tangible thing that you can do is give yourself like a 1, 2, 3 blast off. Like give yourself a countdown, be like, okay, I want to get up and go pour that cup of coffee, but oh my God, this bed is so comfortable. I do not want to get up, but it'd be like, all right,
3,
take a deep
2,
breath.
1,
Yes.
go.
And just be like 3, 2, 1, go. And just go for it. Just go for it. Whatever that is, give yourself like a fun, a blast off, honestly. That's going to really, and find the fun in it. Allow yourself to be playful. Allow yourself to find the positive in it, and then congratulate yourself.
Yeah.
Another thing I like to do, like if I were to have poured that cup of coffee, I would have went and found a mirror and high-fived myself in the mirror.
Like,
Because
yeah,
I love
we need
that
it.
stuff.
I love that. I love
I
it.
love that stuff.
I
I
love
love
that.
like you have to be your own cheerleader. That's
Yeah,
the
you do.
only way you're gonna have success, because it can be a lonely journey. And you're out here to help people, but you're also out here to help yourself. And sometimes in that success, you don't get help returned in that. So
That's-
it can feel like a really long journey. It can feel very lonely. It can feel unsupported. And so you have to be your own cheerleader.
Yeah.
You have to be your own hype man, your own hype girl,
Right.
whatever you got to do. And then celebrate it and have fun. And I think that will allow you to put a really good mindset in forward motion and just keep going one after the other.
Yeah, someone told me, because I asked it on a very personal level, you could tell, because it's something that I struggle with as well, to start things or to do things or to continue doing things. And I was told to make it fun, as you said, which is to think that not that I have to do this, but I get to do
Yes.
this. It's like a privilege for me to go make that cup of coffee, not that I have to go make it.
Yes.
So that is fun and it's something that I want to do. And I like the celebrations, give yourself Scooby snacks as you're doing
love
your
that.
tasks for
Exactly.
motivation.
Snacks.
Tell how do you do it? How do you get yourself to start something?
Again, I think micro goals is what I've done. And here's the thing: whenever I go out and speak and I do some crowd work and I say, well, what's your goal? Oh, I want to make $1 million. Okay, what's your timeline? I want to make it tomorrow. Okay, well then you're not going to do it.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Unless you're taking the odds and you're going to win the lottery, you're not going to do it. Okay, so now what I do is I say I'm going to start with the end in mind. I'm going to start with my finished goal, but now I'm going to create micro goals to that goal. So if I want to make $1 million next year, which is feasible, where do I start in 2 days? Where do I start in a week? Where do I start in a month? Where do I start in a quarter? What are the profound things that I need to do to reach that goal? And how am I going to obtain that? So what resources do I need? And when I say resources, I'm not saying money. I'm saying, do I need to build a podcast? Do I need to build a social media presence? What do I need to do how do I source my product? If we're talking about product-based businesses, I have to have a supply chain that's going to fulfill my demand. How am I going to build my demand? What marketing am I going to do? And so when your brain starts thinking like that, then you can actually start putting all of these things in a timeline and building these timelines. And so you have these marks in the timeline and you write down these micro goals along the timeline. Now, can you not make your goal? Of course you can. Of course you can. But if you start creating these micro goals in your timeline and you start looking at it and visualizing it, you're going to have a much better way of obtaining it. And along the way, you go, oh, okay, this might need a little bit of change. This might need a little change. I'm kind of an amateur pilot. I don't have my pilot's license, but I'm trying to get my pilot's license. And every time I try to get my pilot's license, I have to go back to work. But anyway, in navigation, you do waypoints to your destination. You don't just say, I want to go from X to Y. You say, I need to go here, turn here, go here, do this. And that is the same correlation to business. In business, it's not, you don't just go from 0 to 100. You have to progressively grow your business. And then you also have to pause in case you have an issue with your supply chain, in case you have an issue with your social media, in case you have an issue with your service, in case you have an issue with customers. So this is the thing that I tell people all the time is, if you're gonna eat a pizza, you don't just fold it and just start eating it. You cut it in slices.
You don't?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Sometimes. Actually,
It's just not a
You
one
don't?
biter. Have I been doing it wrong
Actually,
the whole time?
thought you've
sometimes,
been doing
Nikki,
it.
I like to just put my full face into it and
Yes.
just start eating off.
Yes.
So when you're doing that, when you're putting the slices, then at one point you're able to create the ability to grow, your ability to get to your end goal. So guys, I can't stress this enough. Whoever is listening, please find what's the end in mind. What's the end in mind? What do you want? And then once you reach that goal, your goal becomes bigger. Your goal becomes bigger.
You realize $1 million is just, now I need $100 million.
There you go.
All right. So let's talk about this coffee before I get back to Nikki.
Sure.
Tyler's Coffee is the world's first acid-free coffee.
Yes.
What does it mean, acid-free?
So what it means is that we created a coffee that doesn't bloom the tannin and lipid acids in the roast. So tannin and lipid acids are used in photosynthesis. So with anything and everything that's plant matter based has to have photosynthesis. But what we found out is that the tannins acid and the lipid acid wreak havoc on the GI tract. So people that have Crohn's, GERD, leaky gut, overactive bladder, heartburn, indigestion, they can't have coffee. It's painful. It gives them acid reflux. They don't enjoy it. And the reason why this came to be is my father and I bonded over coffee at a very, very young age. And at one point, he couldn't drink coffee anymore because he had peptic ulcers. And the doctor said, hey, you got to stop drinking coffee. And he said, hey, I'm not going to. It's not an option. Yeah. So the option that he took is, how do I change the molecular structure of the bean so that people like myself can now drink coffee? And that's what we did. And we've been wildly successful at it. We're, like you said, we're a 7-figure company now, and we've been in over 1,200 stores across the country in America, U.S. based. But hopefully, Kenya
will also get a supply of this, right?
Tyler's Coffee.
Do I get to keep this?
You do.
Thank
it is
you.
yours.
The first taster of Tyler's Coffee in Kenya.
That has to be job, right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, this is what I get.
Good,
You know.
That's good.
I keep coming here every Tuesday just for that one day when I'll get a Tyler's Coffee. So I finally did it, guys. So do you have a Tyler's cup every morning?
I do.
You have your own cup every
I
morning?
do. I drink my coffee every morning.
Okay.
I love. See, the thing is, okay, that's a great segue, guys. Always love what you do. Love what you do. And if you actually are the biggest customer, then you want the best product, right? I would never in a million years want to drink a bad tasting cup of coffee.
Because you already know what good coffee is.
Exactly.
So keep making it better, not just for others, also for yourself.
Exactly. So keep making your product better. And then another thing, and here's a really good tidbit, always listen to your customers. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, you know, we're growing too big. I still take customer calls if I can. I'll say, hey, thank you for calling Tyler's Coffees. How can we help you? And I'll work through that call with that customer. And then they'll be like, what's your name? And I'll be like, it's Tyler. And they're like, the Tyler? I say, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So another thing is we have a review email. So after you get the coffee delivered, we send out a review email. If it's over 4 stars, I say, great, we love you. Thank you so much for being a customer. If it's under 3 stars, it goes directly to my email. And I want to know why they did not like why did they not like it? Yeah. And so I'll call my customers and say, hey, I saw you did the 3-star. I'm Tyler. How can I help you? I have learned from those people better than any other company that I could acquire or buy. Sorry, not acquire, that I could buy and say, hey, can you do an audit on why we're losing business? Yeah. Listen to your customers.
That's the best research you could do, right? For feedback. Let me get to Nikki now. Yeah. I'm listening to his entrepreneurship journey. I have listened to a bunch of others here on the show, and you do a mental health, podcast, and you're very into mental health. So the stresses of business, the stresses of trying, the stresses of starting out, failing. That's not something we can brush off easily. You could be the strongest out there. As you said even earlier, that it's not like you didn't have the nights where you were crying over rejections or heartbroken or feeling sad. Sometimes it's too too heartbreaking for others, they just stop that dreaming and that journey at that point. Mentally, what is it that we can, restructure for mental health, for entrepreneurs in Kenya, and especially for our country, the situation, or sometimes the business environment isn't very conducive for many factors, from political to social to economic. But the mental health part of it has to be intact throughout these changes. How do you do it, and how can entrepreneurs, keep their mental health in check?
Well, I think the key word in that for your mental health, keeping that in check, is balance. I think balance, it gives you more fuel to go forward. Make sure that if you're burnt out, or if you had a bad day, or you had, something that was a failure, as you would call it, go do something you enjoy. Go outside, or whatever you really want to do. If that's hopping on and playing video games, then just, take a break and do something what you love. If that's eating a really amazing meal, or going out and, having a social time and calling your friends, or whatever it is, just make sure that you do that. Make sure you're gentle with yourself as well. That's actually something that I really had to learn, was to be kind to yourself. We're everyone else's best friend, and we can call up our best friend and give them the best advice, or be there for them. Or if they're complaining, you're able to say, it's okay, you did your best. I love you. You're good. Like, this isn't the end of the world. We're going to get through this. You have to talk to yourself like you're your best friend.
Right.
Then that is actually one of the hardest things to do, to actually be kind to yourself, because we put ourselves on such, with such high standards, and it's so hard to reach that all the time. But it goes back to kind of what I was saying about celebrating the little wins. Even when he was saying his micro goals up to the big goal, it's kind of the same idea, where you're actually celebrating each micro
Milestone,
goal
right,
that you accomplish. But you actually, in that balance, you actually celebrate it. Like, not just, okay, checked off that, I'm still, reaching the top of the mountain, but really celebrate that. Have a little party, like, have your own little personal party, and just really allow yourself to feel the joy from doing that first victory,
right,
no matter how big or small it is. So I really believe, learning what you like. And that is interesting too, that it took me forever, and I'm still learning what I actually enjoy. And I have had to, it's really funny, I'm a list person. So it's a Virgo thing. He'd get that. He's been drilling me. He knows Virgos. So, and I will list out what I like and be like, okay, now there's no excuse about not doing something I enjoy, because there's a list of things here. I gotta at least do one.
Yeah.
Even if it's, taking a shower and turning on the music and dancing in the shower, or singing in the shower, but just allow yourself to do something that brings a smile to your face, and I think it's really just having that balance. If you work yourself hard, relax. And I also, because mental health and even just health in general and the balance, sleep is so important. I think people underestimate how important sleep is.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, see, and so, if we're working to have the most successful business, or we're working to be the most successful person, or just reaching these incredible goals, burning yourself out and taking all-nighters, and even here being at a university, like students, like doing all these all-nighters is not going to help you ace the test and really understand what you were learning. Like, there's so much scientific evidence that having 8 hours of sleep allows your brain to absorb everything you were just cramming into it. If you just keep cramming all this stuff into it, it's not going to settle and be understood. And making sure that you're able to be refreshed and get up and go take that test, or just have that balance, be able to arrive, feeling refreshed, because that's the way you're going to show up the best you can and allow yourself to actually climb that mountain. You can't climb the mountain on no sleep.
Right.
You know, you have to rest, you have to recharge your body. And so I really believe keeping a balance of what makes you happy.
So it's called the Longevity Junkie Podcast, right?
Yes, Longevity Junkie Podcast.
Right.
Exactly.
Check it out, Longevity Junkie Podcast. That's
Yeah.
where you'll get more of those conversations on wellness from
Yes.
this obsessive traveler. I
Yes, very obsessive traveler.
I'm just looking at your Instagram profile.
Oh, it has to be updated. Oh my God.
Yeah, please.
She's really popular. She's got over
Yeah,
a
it's
million
1.3
followers. I
million.
know. I'm so I'm honored and humbled to be in her presence right now.
1.3 million followers, 6 million across social media platforms. How do you do it? Maybe a word of advice on social media and content marketing. I know businesses right now are very big into that, given the way things are moving, e-commerce,
Very much.
and all of that. So social media has become such a big deal. How did you do it to get to this point?
I mean, yeah, and it's not something, it has to be consistent. Consistency is key. Now, don't burn yourself out. And this, don't burn yourself out of, I need to post every single solitary day. You can, of course, if it's, something that's not stressing you out. But having actually, let's break this full circle with help.
Okay.
Be helpful. Find something that will help you understand, like learn from it, as well as bring helpful tips or be of service to your following. That is also that's a really great way for people to find you as well, because if you're providing information, you're giving them something, you're giving new followers something to gravitate towards you, because then the more advice that you give, the more those people are able to kind of count on you for advice that they liked in the first place, that really captured them and got them to click that follow button. So
they'll keep coming back.
Yeah, and keep coming back.
Yeah.
Another great thing that I've heard for people, because you can be on social media for so many different reasons. So finding a niche, like Tyler found
Definitely.
coffee. Find your niche. And then just deep dive into that. Become curious.
Okay.
Becoming curious is one of the key things to life, honestly. And that's actually one thing that I've recognized just being here I've only been here like really a night and a morning. But the people that I've already learned from and met this morning, it's their curiosity. It's them really wanting to know how. Even like you asking these questions, like, how did you do this? And being curious and wanting to keep diving into it. And so having that curiosity, consistency, and being helpful and offering advice are the top three, I would think.
Sure. You're also a top manifester, so
Oh yeah.
I'm also manifesting this for myself as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, manifesting is about, from the first point that I made in the beginning, was about believing in yourself. You can't manifest anything if you don't believe that you can achieve it.
Okay. Right. Tyler, what are the stops like for this week so that people can dress up and, watch out for you guys wherever you'll be at in Kenya?
So I am. So let me just go back to Nikki really quick. So
Okay.
I want to just also say this is it kind of boils down to this. You're either a viewer or you're a creator. So if you're going to view social media content, that's fine. I don't have any quarrels against that. Nikki loves how she has 1 million viewers. But for an entrepreneur, you have to be a creator. And so if you want to be successful, you have to start putting yourself out there. You have to just start putting yourself out there. You have to start giving and giving and giving and giving and giving more to receive. Where we're going to be, I would love to tell you exactly, but
I'm sure those names are just now.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
new names.
I know we're going to Kiss Me. I know we're going to
Kissy.
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 You just say.
You just said kiss me. It's Kissy. We're going to Kissy.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's fun watching Americans try to do this.
Yeah, sure.
Kisii, that's my
Kisii.
that's my hometown.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. I grew up there.
Great.
What should we expect from Kisii? 'Cause
Yeah.
this
A
is
lot
the
of
first time-
bananas.
Bananas?
Yes, that's
love
the land of
bananas.
bananas in Kenya.
I love
A lot of sugarcane,
Okay.
and yeah, very friendly people and happy people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
everyone's
seems to be so
everyone's been
Yeah.
so friendly
so
here.
grateful for
Yeah,
that because
we are a
LA
country of-
and other places are not always that friendly.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely not.
It's
Our
so
hospitality is always on that.
Yes, the hospitality has been, oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
heartwarming.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
in Kisii?
Kisii.
yeah, we're going to Kisii, and then we're going to the
Don't look at me, sweetheart. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I feel like I've been asking for an itinerary
Yeah.
for like ever, and I just don't seem
Right.
to find it.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Not reaching me.
All right.
So the fact that you even remembered Kisii, even
Yeah.
though it's wrong.
But at least we know Kisii. And you have been at Kenyatta University,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is where we are at the moment.
Yes.
So people should watch out. I remember in last year's keynote tour, there was Kisii University, there was Nairobi University, Kenyatta University, Kereri Girls, which is also a secondary school in Kisii University, a girls' high school, and a bunch of others. So I think probably the same spots,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would
as last
assume.
year.
Yeah, we're doing a savannah.
A safari in
Safari.
I was
Masai
like,
Mara.
what is a savannah?
I thought it's safari.
Yeah, they're in the savannah.
Yeah, that's
They're in the
Yeah.
Savannah Desert,
right.
but it's a
Okay.
safari.
All right.
It's a safari in this. We are called the Silicon Savannah anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
what I thought.
yeah. All right. So those are some of the places people can expect this tour that you're with.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have here, of course, I have a graphic that has a bunch of other speakers who are Hugh.
Yeah.
There's Isabel, who we've had here before. There's David, who's actually around here in the
Yeah, he's
studio.
in the back.
Yeah, he's back in Kenya. He was here before as well. We've had a conversation, and he came with Dr. Juma as well. So I'm sure Dr. Juma, and they'll be sharing on social media. So you can check out Top Talent Agency, and then you'll see the itinerary and where they're at. I personally follow Isabel online, so I will always know where they're at. So if maybe you can follow Miss Nikki here and others. I don't know if Tyler is on social media.
I am. So Tyler's Coffees is Tyler's Acid Free at Tyler's Acid Free Coffee, and then my personal is at Tyler Ornstein. But we're actually going to be launching a new channel called Tyler's Task Force. And what that is every day I'm going to post a task that I want my viewers and my followers to do. And it's business related. And then also I talk about business oriented things on my new channel. It hasn't dropped yet, but that's coming up. You're actually the first media to hear about it. So
Exclusive.
exclusive in Kenya.
I should be charging this subscription based. Okay, so
yeah.
entrepreneurs can look forward to that, so they get tips from you, of
Yeah.
course, on the journey so far.
Yeah.
It's 9:42 in the morning, guys. I have like a small segment that's supposed to happen before 10. We could have this discussion all the way to like 6 p.m. I'm
Probably.
sure. There's so many questions I have, but because you're around, I'd be also, trying to reach to where you're at and hopefully invite you to come back again.
Thank you.
Whether this time or another time in which you're in Kenya. Just to close it off, one last piece of advice. Could be random, could be specific to entrepreneurs, to a person out there. Maybe I could begin with Nikki, yes.
Oh God, of course. I was like, darn, I'm gonna think about this. Nope.
Yeah, anything. Could be, eat your pizza
We're
whole.
on the spot. I love it.
Yeah, very much on the
Eat
spot.
your pizza, Nikki.
Eat your pizza whole.
Eat your pizza.
Okay, a piece of advice. Well, I've given so much, so I have to do something different. But let's see here. Honestly, laugh more. I think because I was saying, like, be playful and have fun, we really have just this one life. And I admire all of you for wanting to be the biggest entrepreneur or have, the biggest following or just to strive for these beautiful, big goals. But you have to make sure to have fun along the way. So just please have a life that you can be so excited about, and that will allow each morning to wake up and you'll get to be excited about life. And then when you're at the end of it, you can look back and and know that you did everything really joyfully. And I think that's what really makes a completely full and loving life.
Right. Laugh often. That's why they say laugh all the way to the bank.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler?
Well, Shari, it was a pleasure having us on. We really appreciate it. And one of the things that I have to say, I have to call you out because
Please do.
The camera can't see it, but I see it. You got South Park socks.
I noticed that too. It's my favorite. Oh my god!
And that's one of my favorite
Me
shows.
too.
Oh, it
of all
is.
time.
Same.
Yes.
That's why I have them
It's
on.
great.
So,
I love
Oh my
South
god! They
Park.
killed Kenny.
Oh my god, they killed Kenny.
They did.
I love it. I'm so glad you said that because I was over here going in my head. I'm like, yes, kind of brings up the laugh off.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's
So-
great.
Right. What a coincidence that it's all our favorite show.
Oh yeah.
South Park
Yeah,
is the best.
Yes, South Park is the best.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay.
My advice is find a mentor. Find a mentor that you can bounce ideas off, bounce conversations off. Have an open dialogue with, and really listen to your mentor.
Okay.
And if you have a good mentor, then that mentor wants you to succeed. It has nothing monetary wise. It's just you guys click.
Okay.
You guys are I say friend, but friend and mentor are different. You can have friends, peer group of friends, but they're not going to lift you up. Nikki and I were having this wonderful conversation coming back from the airport, and I said, hey, you are who you surround yourself with. So if you want to be successful, then know the people that you're around and say, hey, are my people, is my network, is my very close network where I want to be? Are they doing the things that I want? Or am I like, oh, guys, let's do this. And everyone's like, nah, we're just going to stay on the couch and eat pizza. That's the difference between success and failure. Be around the people that want to succeed.
All right. That's Tyler. And this is Tyler's coffee. And that's Nikki. And this is Nikki's social media. But thank you guys for coming through to the show. I had so much fun having this conversation and I've learned a lot. The one thing I say on this show is that I should actually be the one paying. My producer, don't change that. But I should be the one paying to work here because I feel like I come for free life and business lessons every morning. And that's
Beautiful.
exactly what I got from you guys. So this is to me and to my audience. I'm hoping that you have loved it. I'll definitely give you a review of Tyler's coffee next week on Tuesday when I am back.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I'll try it out this week and then let you know. My mom has an issue with ulcers, so
This is
also
it.
make her test this coffee
This
and
is
let
it.
me know.
Nice.
All the best with your tour this week.
you.
Yeah, and I hope to meet you in the Mara during the weekend.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Going for a short break here on Biashara Tuesday. I'll be right back. Don't go too far. I'm coming to read your feedback and then also have a conversation, short one, with Ojwang Mariam on the headline. So grab yourself a copy of the dailies and then give us your reactions in a few. Don't go too far.